Hello, everyone. Welcome to Art for Art's Sake. I know we've been offline a bit from this program for a week or so. We've just been making adjustments to the whole concept of this. We're going to be actually starting a different way of doing Art for Art's Sake very soon, so stay tuned for that. It should be really cool and interesting, so I'm really excited. But today we have Virginia Dipierro, and she's going to be playing some music for us, so stay tuned. But first, I would like to remind you all, if you haven't seen already, that our member show is now live, and the first time ever we have an online gallery for that. So it's just on our website. I believe the link is slcartscouncil.org/2020 member show, but you can also just find it just by going right on our website. And also we've been sharing it on our Facebook page. So if you look back at the previous post, you'll be able to see it there as well. And yeah, it would be really awesome if you guys could check that out. We have a lot of awesome artists who submitted their work. We had our gallery opening on Saturday via Zoom, and a lot of awesome work is up for sale. So definitely go check that out. But without further ado, I will introduce you to Virginia. Hi, Virginia.
Oh, there.
Yep.
It says am I unmuted now?
Yep, we can hear you.
Oh, good. Okay. Hi, Jenna. First of all, I'd like to say that honestly, I'm sitting here with an incredibly talented young person that I just have so much admiration for as an artist. Jenna, I love you, honestly, and I want to thank you for having me do this with you. And I just wish we could do harmonies with the Zoom format. You can't, but that would be amazing. And we're going to do that one day, okay? We're going to do it.
Definitely. Oh, thank you. I love you too. And
I think you are tremendous. You know, young people today, I'm so inspired by the young artists around us today because, you know, we were raised to play an instrument. Like we were raised with we would ask each other, what instrument do you play? What instrument do you play? Well, kids today, they all play 5 instruments, and they're all starting off where we finished. So you guys are great, and I love you, and thank you. So I'm going to play an original song first, and this is called Carolina Heaven. This is a song I wrote when I was hanging out down in South Carolina. This song is on the Virginia's Folly CD. Now, I have to say that these songs that I'm playing today, some of them, the original songs, when I played them in Montreal, I played them with 9 of the best musicians that money could absolutely buy, and I didn't have to pay a nickel because they were my friends. And so I was really fortunate. So this was one of the songs. So you're going to hear me playing guitar on it, but if you hear the version on CD, it's banjos and fiddles and all kinds of stuff, but it's still a lot of fun. Sunshine comes up and the birds start to holler. You can hardly tell the sparrow from the swallow or the dove. In Carolina heaven, there's no angels playing music, just lazy stares and rocking chairs and lots of southern love. And the road winds along the clouds and brushes past the pines and gently sets you down beside the sea, where magnolia blossoms big as that all bow their heads to say, if you're in Carolina, you're in heaven every day. Sunlight so hot, all the hound dogs are sleeping. If you listen, you can hear a stubborn morning turtle dove. In Carolina heaven, there's no saints with horns a blowing. Just pass the sausage biscuits, please, and lots of southern love. And the road winds along the clouds and brushes past the pines and gently sets you down beside the sea, where magnolia blossoms big as that all bow their heads to say, if you're in Carolina, you're in heaven every day. Moonlight comes up and the night falls so kindly. A fiddler's lullaby is sounding somewhere from above. In Carolina heaven, there's no pearly gates to walk through, just fishing shacks and railroad tracks and lots of southern love. And the road winds along the clouds and brushes past the pines and gently sets you down beside the sea, where magnolia blossoms big as that all bow their heads to say, if you're in Carolina, you're in heaven every day. And the road winds along the clouds and brushes past the pines and gently sets you down beside the sea, where magnolia blossoms big as that all bow their heads to say, if you're in Carolina, you're in heaven every day. If you're in Carolina, you're in heaven every day. Okay, so I wrote that walking down the beach one day in Charleston, South Carolina, which is really one of my favorite places. Excuse me while I have some Tim's. So that's really where I started. I started really playing this kind of music down there. And then I toured the South doing with friends, just doing this kind of music, and it was really, really fun. We just tripped around down there, and I played with other bands, bluegrass bands, and a beautiful history of music in the South. Really, really beautiful history. And I got to see, we also studied a lot of the history of roots music while I was down south, and amazing history to music. A lot of the Sea Isle, the slave islands down in Georgia. Some of the rhythms and music that came from there is just incredibly beautiful and wonderful. And I was so fortunate to be able to experience some of that. So this is a song that I wrote for. So this was a fiddler friend of mine, Glenn, and I was very inspired by the fiddle. I started playing the fiddle. I still play the fiddle. And I was so inspired by his music. I still am, honestly. He takes off his coat and he walks to the parlor. He picks up a little piece of wood, smaller than the log that he puts on the fire. He sits by the window where the light's still good. He'll take you on a ride on a river through the forest. If you close your eyes, you'll smell the sweet grass meadow. If I could, I'd stay all night singing to the music coming from the wind and that little piece of wood. Doesn't mind at all if you sit and you listen. He likes it when you dance and you should. It's a sound that grabs your soul when sadness comes upon you, and suddenly like magic makes you feel so good. He'll take you on a ride on a river through the forest. If you close your eyes, you'll smell the sweet grass meadow. If I could, I'd stay all night singing to the music coming from the wind and that little piece of wood. How does he do it? Makes me think, makes me wonder, jumping off the strings through the air. Melodies that twist and turn and fill my life with pleasure. Sometimes like a freight train, but often like a prayer. He'll take you on a ride on the river through the forest. If you close your eyes, you'll smell the sweet grass meadow. If I could, I'd stay all night singing to the music coming from the wind and that little piece of wood. Okay, Jenna, this is so much fun. I love this. I just wish we could sing together, but we will. We will. Let's see. So let me do a song. So I've sort of reinvented myself the last few years, playing for seniors in seniors retirement residences. And this is a really special thing that I do because it lets me sing a lot of songs that I grew up with, a lot of like pop music songs that I grew up with, American hit parade songs, and I find that really, really fun. And a lot of them are very well known. So I'll start with this one. So what happens is when I go into the residences and I start to sing this music, the response is just overwhelming, really is. And because I think people who are now in their 80s and 90s were listening to radio. Radio was just a very common occurrence in our houses. Something that kids today don't really experience, but you'd have your radio on all day playing music. And then we had stereos and record players. And so, gonna take a sentimental journey, gonna keep my mind at ease, gonna take a sentimental journey to renew old memories. Got my bag, got my reservation, spent each dime I could afford, like a child in wild anticipation, long to hear that old accord. 7, that's the time we'll leave at 7. I'll be waiting up for heaven, counting every mile of railroad track that takes me by. When did I decide to be a roamer? When did I decide to roam? Gonna take a sentimental journey home. 7, that's the time we'll leave at 7. I'll be waiting up for heaven, counting every mile of a railroad track that takes me by. When did I decide to be a roamer? When did I decide to roam? Gonna take a sentimental journey home. Sentimental journey home. Sentimental journey home. Yeah, so that's just a fun little pop song that I like to sing for my seniors. So one of the things in my resume that didn't come up, and I thought about it after, is, I love politics and political activism and social activism. And this next song it's very meaningful to me. I wrote this song. It's about the Trail of Tears and a time, 1844 is the year of the event that took place. And this is a man named Rich Joe Van. And he was the Cherokee Nation chief. And back at that time in history, it was the Treaty of Nuukowa was being talked about, was being signed. Rich Joe Van did not sign the Treaty of Nuukowa, and that led to the Trail of Tears, actually. But this boat that I sing about, the Lucy Walker, is Rich Joe Van's boat, and it was used to transport Indigenous people off the reservations and onto the reservations, out of their homes. And the way that it goes is that the Cherokee, the native chiefs, were basically appointed by the American government and the rich American businessmen because they needed them to convince their people that this was a really good thing. And Rich Jovan was one of those people. So he was a very wealthy. He was, even though he was a native chief, he was actually appointed even, and he was actually half Scottish as well. So you didn't have to be full native. They needed these chiefs so badly to be on their side, to move these natives off the land, these people off the land. It was just horrible. So the people that signed the Treaty of Nuukoa, which was the original treaty that was signed to get the Trail of Tears into motion, they were all paid. They were bribed. They were paid with money, land and land. Rich Jovan was given land. Oklahoma, he was given land all over the place, and sadly, he was just one of those native chiefs that was cajoled by the government to get his people to agree to move off the land. So it's a heart-wrenching story. I sing about it. I sing about it from the viewpoint of a child that I call Jessie. And the way I see Jessie is I see this story taking place probably 2 or 3 generations later, and Jessie would probably be a descendant of both a slave and a Cherokee native. So that's how I see Jessie. So if you listen to the song, let's bring it up. Joseph Ann stood tall, he was sure he had it all, till the Mississippi mud became his grave. His riverboat went down on that cold October day, no man wishing Rich Jovan his soul to save. The Cherokee Nation chief, which in 1844 meant that he enjoyed riches, wealth, and fame. He had slaves who worked his land, many hundred all in land, on the Oklahoma Territory claim. Show Jessie to the water, let him stand on the muddy river bank. Show Jessie to the water, let him see where Lucy Walker sang. One day on Diamond Hill, Rich Joe's slaves had had their fill. He called his politician friends he knew, sent soldiers to the hills when those slaves were rounded up. He took them to be Lucy Walker's crew. Well, a man named Jim knew exactly how much steam that it took to keep Lucy running smooth. Fire it up, said Rich Jovan, we'll outrun that football sign, so my friends can see what Lucy here can do. Show Jessie to the water, let him stand on the muddy river bank. Show Jessie to the water, let him see where Lucy Walker sang. Put a gun to Jim Van's head when he would not use steam, saying, Joe, she's as fast as she can go. Jim Van jumped to save himself and left Joe holding the gun, shouting, Lucy Walker's boiler's gonna blow. Show Jessie to the water, let him stand on the muddy river bank. Show Jessie to the water, let him see where the Lucy Walker sang. On that fateful day, rich Joanne and 40 slaves kissed the muddy bottom down in Indiana. Jim Van lived to tell the tale that with all those dollar bills, Joanne couldn't escape the mighty river's hand. Show Jesse to the water, let him stand on the muddy river bank. Show Jesse to the water, let him see where the Lucy Walker sang. Show Jesse to the water, let him stand on the muddy river bank. Show Jesse to the water, let him see where the Lucy Walker sang. Let him see where the Lucy Walker sang. Yeah, so that's the story of the Lucy Walker, and it's a very fascinating story. I just find that whole period, you know, what that tells me, reading about that period in history. It just sort of leads me to understand more about how we got where we are right now. You know, it's sort of, we've sort of come full circle with, haven't we really? But it didn't start, you know, it didn't start with one person or two people, and this whole thing started a long time ago with money and power and wealth, and so we have to get back to goodness and kindness, right, and humanitarian. And let's go back to down south and do some Blue Ridge Mountain music. There's a blue flower in my garden. There is a blue bird up in the sky. And when that blue river stops to hear a freight train whistle cry, that's a Blue Ridge Mountain lullaby. As we stroll along, my darling, watching evening shadows kiss the restless sky, we'll take all our cares and troubles and watch them fly away on a whistling meadow. There is a blue flower in my garden. There is a blue bird up in the sky. And when the blue river stops to hear a freight train whistle cry, that's a Blue Ridge Mountain lullaby. As we gaze down into the valley, where the restless meadow meets the restless sky, the thistles pointing up toward the heavens, it hopes to catch a glimpse of an eagle soaring high. There is a blue flower in my garden. There is a blue bird up in the sky. And when the blue river stops to hear a freight train whistle cry, that's a Blue Ridge Mountain lullaby. As the moon comes up behind the mountain, one lone cricket sounding like a violin. Then suddenly the peaceful night's exploding like a symphony of instruments. They all start joining in. There is a blue flower in my garden. There is a blue bird up in the sky. And when the blue river stops to hear a freight train whistle cry, that's a Blue Ridge Mountain lullaby. There is a blue flower in my garden. There is a blue bird up in the sky. And when the blue river stops to hear a freight train whistle cry, that's a Blue Ridge Mountain lullaby. That's a Blue Ridge Mountain lullaby. Okay, that's a happy song. I like to write. When I first started writing songs, all my songs were just super happy. I wanted them to be really happy songs. That was funny. And now I'm not so like I don't write much anymore. Jenny, you said you like to write lyrics. Like when you write lyrics, are your lyrics, are they melancholy? Are they happy? Are they?
It depends. It depends on the moment, I guess, because I always write what I feel. I feel like I always guide with or like what's going on. It's usually like experience based. So everything I write is
Yeah.
me, I guess. So whatever the moment calls for, I definitely tend to go towards more melancholy stuff just because I feel like, I don't know, that's just more me. But I feel like we need more uplifting, happy tunes, of course, to go to. And I feel like those are the ones that tell often more folk like stories or like riddles of the past type things. The
Right.
or
Yeah,
usually more
Filipino
uplifting.
roots is very story based. It's very it is like that. It's very story based. Um, but I almost wish, I kind of wish I could write those melancholy. Like I listen to, deep, deep folky songs, and I think, oh, I'd like to be able to really just get in there and write something really deep. And then I start to write, and all this like all this happy stuff starts coming out. So it's very funny. I did write I don't know if I still remember it. I actually wrote a murder ballad, like murder ballads, or another thing that come from down south. And I had actually written a murder ballad. It's not happy at all, but at the same time, it's not melon. It doesn't have anything to do with my feelings, right? So at some point in my life, I don't know, maybe when I'm sitting in a residence somewhere, I'll write about my feelings. I guess poetry. I never really wrote poetry. And here's another state. See, I like to write about places too. That's pretty tone. I know you'll miss me when I'm gone. I'm going back where the water tastes like wine, and the hills are rolling gentle on my mind. Thoughts in my head, they're growing old. I need to find that music in my soul, and there's only one place I can be, making music with the grass beneath my feet, in the cabin looking out on the mountains, where that mockingbird will sing along with me. The song always starts with a tickle in my heart, but the music begins in Tennessee. Now we got like a really big banjo solo here. I know the feeling very well. Blue mountain haze has got me in its spell, and the lazy Susan's watching over me. Great big old city, blocking out the sun, running around and getting too much done. Always talking about what I don't understand. I can't wait to have my guitar in my hand, in the cabin looking out upon the mountains, where that mockingbird will sing along with me. The song always starts with a tickle in my heart, but the music begins in Tennessee. Yeah, the music begins in Tennessee. Oh, the music begins in Tennessee. See, when I play these songs with it's so funny because, like I said, there's always a banjo and a fiddle and a this and a that and a this. But I've learned to do them by myself, and it's a lot of fun. But it really, I don't get that big sound when I'm playing them with all the people that I know. And that's one thing, since I've moved to Cornwall, I've been really lucky to find people to play music with. That's really been amazing. Really, really fun.
Yeah, I wish that there was an option to do that online, to have multiple people playing at once or singing together. But
right. Well, during the pandemic, I actually have Cam. My neighbor Cam plays mandolin, so we did a porch session here, And then tomorrow I've got Peter Hill coming in he's actually, believe it or not, he is quarantined out on his little island in the St. Lawrence River. So he's got his own island out there. So he's going to come in tomorrow and we're going to do some music in the backyard. And so I'm hoping to get more and more people. And actually, there's supposed to be a bluegrass jam going on somewhere in the country on Sunday. I might do that. I'm not sure yet. People are going like, oh, are we ready for that? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe. So I want to get back to the playing what I've been doing with the seniors because I just think it's so important that these seniors just hear music. And when I first started doing this, I've been doing this like 12 years already, like playing in the residences. And when I first started playing in seniors residences, they were kind of, didn't take me with like, they didn't really understand what I was doing because I wasn't playing happy sing-along songs with them. I was playing songs that sometimes make them cry. And see, I get that. That's what music does for me. Like when I hear music, I hear music, it's very sentimental. It's very, we grew up with music. Did you grow up with music, Jana? What kind of music did you grow up listening to?
I grew up with a lot of my family stuff, which actually differs greatly from what I listen to now. So like, I feel like I've always grown up listening to the lyrics more so than like the actual music itself. But that's probably why I'm really better at writing lyrics than doing the music aspect of things.
Sure. No, absolutely.
Yeah, I do have one distinct moment I remember where I was in a choir for a NISMA conference all stay, and I had a conductor who just played piano, and it was a bunch of songs she compiled together, and she had us meditate to it. And that was like the first time I ever was like solely, it was just music alone. There was no lyrics involved, but it still was really moving and really relaxing. And like that was just like a moment where I took in that element of music and related it to like a deeper thing. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I like melodies. Like melodies, music has sort of become very linear for me when I listen to, although it's beautiful and it's absolutely a different genre of music altogether, but when I listen to the independent indie artists today and the even some of the rap music, and it's wonderful. The lyrics, it really is all about the lyrics now, much more. But back in the 50s and 60s, and like back when I was little, it was really more about the melody and then about the rhythms, right? Because we have the like rock and blues and all that it really became about the rhythms as well. But when these people who are now, like I said, in their 80s and not even 90s, when they hear some of this music, it's very moving for them. So I imagine myself, as an older person, what that's going to be like, listening to just, like you said, just listening to music. And without the lyrics, the melodies get very moving. But this is a song that I do. And I didn't know I was going to do this song. I actually recorded this song, and I do it in the seniors residences. And some of the nurses sometimes go like, and the people are always when I go in, it's one of the first songs they request. When I grow too old to dream, I'll have you to remember. And when I grow too old to dream, your love will live in my heart. So kiss me, my sweet, now we must part. And when I grow too old to dream, your love will live in my heart. When sundown shadows draw you near, I'll have you to remember. Precious memories linger here, your love still lives in my heart.
So kiss me, my sweet, now we must part. And when I grow too old to dream, your love will live in my heart. And when I grow too old to dream, your love will live in my heart.
Yeah. So it looks like we're done. We're done our half hour. Jenna, that was wonderful.
Yeah, that was such a pretty song. I really like that. That was a great ending, closing piece to do this with.
Yeah, I think so too. And like, thank you again. And we're gonna do some work together at some point. And I have to sing with you. I really do.
Oh, I'd love that. Yeah, that'd be so awesome. I've always like loved watching your performances since I met you, so that'd be awesome.
And I love watching your performances, to say the least. Yeah, Jenna, you're a real star, and I hope you come back and do some theater here in Cornwall again.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, and
That'd be great.
for sure. So yeah, thank you for joining us and being a part of this program. One of our last ones before we start switching everything up. Before I close this, I did want to show everybody how to get to the member show, as I mentioned prior at the beginning. So I'm going to share my screen just for a quick sec. So here is our website, slcartscouncil.org. And all you have to do is you can click directly on this icon and it'll bring you there, or you can go to exhibits, go to 2020 member show, click there, or you can click here if you would like to purchase something. So I'll just click here and it'll bring you right in to the exhibit, which is awesome. There's so much amazing, talented artists that submitted their work, and you just click on it. We have the People's Choice at the bottom to choose your artist that you think deserves People's Choice Award, and then again, click here to purchase artwork. So really simple. Everyone go check out the awesome artists. And for all of you who tuned in or will be tuning in later when you watch this, I hope that you enjoyed Virginia's performance as much as I did. It was awesome. Thanks for coming once again.
Thank you, Deanna. Thanks to this great program. The SLC program is just, the St. Lawrence College program is fantastic.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And
thanks. And we have one more Art for Art's Sake tomorrow, and then probably we'll start transitioning into our newer style of video, but I will see you all very soon. Thanks again. Yeah, bye everyone.